Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you here today at our session, Prime Global Students, an initiative by and for students. I hope you have been enjoying our global forum, and I hope you enjoyed the keynote speak delivered by Maxime a few minutes ago when he officially present and kick off the initiative to our community. My name is Paulo Speroni. I am a Brazilian. I'm born and raised in Rio de Janeiro, but I'm now living in New York City. I moved to New York to pursue my master's degree in public administration at Columbia University. And upon graduation, I started working at the Prime Secretariat. And now I'm honored to be the project executive leader of Prime Global Students. So I will begin telling you a little bit about the beginning of the journey of Prime Global Students. So in January 2021, when I arrived at Prime, Matt Morrison, the head of Prime, came to me and shared her vision that was based on the 2019 strategic review of Prime, that we needed to create a space for student engagement within Prime. So she came to me, she said, Paulo, we needed to create that. This is your mission. Of course, I accept the mission. She's my boss above all. But I spent a few days thinking about reflecting on it. And I come back a few days later to Maddie and I said, mission accepted. But I have three initial thoughts that I want to share with you, three initial directions that I want to take while developing this initiative. Because 3 million students, it's a huge responsibility. So the first decision or direction that I took was we're going to create Prime Global Students as one initiative with two outcomes. So on one hand, we're going to create a space, a unique space for students within Prime, where students from all over the world can come together, connect to each other, share knowledge, share best practices, collaborate. Okay, but by creating this arena, we want to start a movement, a much needed movement to push forward students to occupy other already existing arenas within Prime. So please, Matt, help me to open the door of our community for our students. So let's make Prime Global Student a movement that drives students to be part of the chapter's activities, to be part of the working group discussions, to be part of the champions initiatives. Okay, the second decision or instruction or direction I had, it is I cannot create this by myself from New York, something that I believe will work across the world in different realities. We're gonna bring a framework of social business development, but we will ensure that this process, this development process, is collaborative. So let's engage students from the outset, bringing students, leading students' organizations, taking actions, drive change in their local ecosystems to come together and co-create something meaningful for themselves that is adaptable also for the different local contexts. So let's make it a collaborative process. Let's build our network while creating our networks. Let's build the boat while sailing. And finally, I cannot do that alone. We needed to create some capacity. We needed to build a team that enable us to outreach all these students all over the world, but also who enable us to adapt narratives, to adapt practice to the local context. So today I'm delighted to say that I'm not alone anymore in that journey. Now I'm part of a group. I'm part of a team of people, inspiring students from all over the world who are coming together. And today, who's gonna present Prime Global Students for you is part of our regional leaders team. So today, together with me, I have Alice Felix from McGill University in Canada. I have Christina from RANEPA Moscow in Russia. I have Sophia Martinez from CETES in Baja California, Mexico. And I have Hedvig Timberg from Stockholm School of Economics in Sweden. So now I will hand over to our team to go over. First, we're going to start with Alice. Alice, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Paulo, for introducing me. So I'm Alice, a student at McGill University in Canada and the North American representative at PRME Global Student. So I represent two student organizations trying to bring change in the Canadian business ecosystem. The first one is the Digital Sustainability Network at McGill, which I am the co-president of. And I'm also a board member of the Canadian Business Youth Council for Sustainable Development. Both initiatives aim at giving students a voice in changing business education and rely on the idea that building strong networks and connection is the only real way to bring about tangible change. So all students' initiatives displayed here were only made possible by collaborative efforts. The Montreal Youth Summit on Sustainable Business, for example, that you can see on the pictures, is one of the largest events organized by and for youth in Canada, gathering around 500 attendees and 40 industry leaders. And it was the result of a collaboration between three students' organizations based in Montreal, the Digital Sustainability Network, Humanitaire, and John Molson Sustainable Enterprise Committee. And this event really sparked the idea of the Canadian Business Youth Council for Sustainable Development, which Maxime just mentioned earlier. So just for a quick reminder, the Canadian Business Youth Council is Canada's largest youth-led movement to change the way we do and teach business. It gathers over 65 youth organizations representing over 500 young leaders, and they have united from coast to coast to build a manifesto filled with 20 statements on the most important topics in sustainability and the future of business. So with the support of students, alumni, executive leaders, and organizations across sector, we really aim to deliver an unprecedented effort to transform the future of business schools and ultimately our own future. We want to inspire students to take action in their schools by creating their own sustainability organization, but also educate them by creating a youth guide to sustainable business filled with a lot of knowledge from high-level executive leaders, but also send a strong signal to industries about the kind of changes the next generation of business leaders are expecting. But what my colleagues and myself did in Canada is in fact not an isolated fact, but a global trend. We're seeing a new era, an era of students as protagonists who are playing an active role driving change toward responsible management education and sustainable development. All across the globe, our PGS Regional Leaders team is a living proof of this new role played by students, a role of active behavior in their academic journey. The time of students showing passive behavior towards their education is over. Young people have much less to lose. Young people are unconstrained by the way things should be, and young people are insensitive to injustice. And young people finally are optimistic about being able to shape the future of their generation. So here in all parts of the world within our team, we have students that are taking action and driving change today. So we have Christina, for example, who led a student organization called Green Renepa in Moscow, Russia, which is part of the Association of Green University in Russia, a network with hundreds of eco-clubs across Russia, whose various actions are displayed here. We also have Liang, who is one of our regional leaders in Asia and a fellow of the Ecological Development Union in China. We have Sophia, who is presenting here today, who created her own student organization within our school, related to the UN and SDG affairs. We have Raquel Korea, our representative in Africa, who's taking the lead in different organizations related to African women entrepreneurship or responsible supply chain management. And finally, we have Hedvig, who took part in the Friday for Future movement, worked with the business committee at the Stockholm School of Economics, and worked with Prime. So students as protagonists organize themselves in student organizations. And these student organizations are created to empower students and represent their interests. They are the essential leverage point between students from Prime signatories and Prime, giving students a voice and access to a large community across the globe. So whether focused on sustainable development, responsible management, or corporate social responsibility, those organizations share the same goal: allow students to build their own future. These initiatives can take many forms, from student association to student-led businesses, eco-clubs, research groups, or even activism groups. All of that take place within the Prime community and at the center of a broad ecosystem. And so the ecosystem in which all those students' organizations evolve is essential because change can only be achieved in collaboration with all the stakeholders around us. By engaging with the ecosystem and relying on it to develop their activities, student movements place themselves at the center of the collective action taken toward a more sustainable future. Businesses, schools, foundations, and NGOs, media, international organizations, and government both influence, but also are influenced by student initiatives. And this two-way relationship is our only change to bring about tangible and scalable change. And so the idea of a network is really the core component of PGS. And it's a network that is created by, but also for students. And so what was most interesting when I learned about PGS is that it's not building something for students to take action, but rather something to empower actions that are already taking place by students. And so PGS really empowers student organizations with a focus on sustainable development and responsible management by increasing their local and global connection to each other and further players in the university ecosystem, therefore accelerating their and Prime's collective impact in the decade of action. And of course, networks and ecosystems are built of people brought together. So I'll pass it over to my colleague, Christina, who will present to you who PGS people are. Christina, the floor is yours.
I want to thank Alice for this kind introduction. I'm Christina, a student from RANEPA University of Moscow, and I'm studying international project management. And I am the regional leader of Eastern Europe. And now I want to introduce who we are. Before introducing our team, I'd like to tell how it was created. In the past few months, it all started with Prime Secretariat, represented by Paolo. They reached out to several collaborations within the Prime community. I mean, champions, chapters, schools, and external partners, of course. And they asked them for their recommendations of sustainability-oriented students' organizations within these regions. And this is how I met Paolo. Well, in my case, Paolo reached out to the Russian Association of Green Universities. They checked universities with eco clubs that are becoming Prime signatories, and Prime signatures. This is how I met Paolo, and we had an interview. After that, Prime Secretariat was able to conduct like dozens of interviews and select some of students to become the PGS regional leaders. And who will find a common language with students, if not students? I would like to kindly introduce the regional leaders. To begin with, Alice Felix, who has spoken before, is a finance and sustainability student of McGill University in Canada and our North America regional leader. She strives to reform traditional finance education and therefore is involved with the McGill-based DeSoto's Sustainability Network as their co-president, and the Canada-wide Canadian Business Youth Council for Sustainable Development as a board member. Who is going to speak after me is Sophia Martinez. She studies at Technical and Higher Education Center in Mexico. She's currently pursuing a bachelor's degree, by the way. She is president of the Model of United Nations Club, and this is brilliant, and has participated in several events about sustainable development goals and entrepreneurship. She's extremely passionate about all topics related to the United Nations, teamwork, leadership, and networking. So Hedvig Timberg from Western Europe is currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in business and economics at the Stockholm School of Economics in Sweden. She's former Prime intern and currently supports student engagement activities taken by the Prime Nordic chapter. He has been working with corporate sustainability through student-led projects and has experience working with markets and content and sustainability-focused startups. And we have more people, 3 more people that are not here today, but they are part of our team. Raquel Curia is an entrepreneurship and finance expert. She is currently a student at Strathmore University Business School, undertaking Bachelor of Commerce with a double major of finance and entrepreneurship. She is the director of operations at Africa Young Trade Professionals. She has worked with various institutions such as Africa Women Entrepreneurship Program, Sardul Gondale from Southern Asia, an environmental activist. Sardul is an MBA student at Indira School of Business Studies in Pune, India. At Indira, he is member of Prime-related student committee and directly responsible for the Principle 6, Dialogue. Li Yang from Southeast, also called Marco. He is a graduate student from Peking University. He is a fellow of the Ecological Development Union International, and he was the Deputy Secretary General of the Second Forum of Ecological Civilization, Health and Art. And soon we are expecting additional regional representatives, so we will be able to expand the area for research and work with student initiatives around the world. What actually representatives do? We are able to speak on behalf of PGS and make bridges between our regions and our global movement, bringing people to co-create PGS as a collaborative initiative that is not meaningful only for us, but in general for everybody. And we are also building and creating a database for all the student organizations we have reached. Each regional leader has its own database where we list students' organizations found online or mainly through the recommendations collected from champions, chapters, signatories, and external partners. Now I'm going to present our advisory body, helping us to develop PGS strategically and bringing partners to contribute to our collaborative development process. I'd like to introduce the head of principle for responsible management education, Matt Morrison, and of course, a president of International Student Organization focusing on economics management education, OICOS International, Sophia Martinez. Maxime Lacat, you met him before when he delivered your keynote speech. He is a chair of the Canadian Business Youth Council for Sustainable Development. And our respectable project executive leader, Paulo. Well, besides the people that are directly engaged, we want to say a big thank you for everybody who helped us. Also to Yulia Maru, who is leading alongside Sophia Martinez the research phase, thus planning and creating all the methodology to bring students from all over the world together, investigate their needs and potential spaces for collaborations. And besides Yulia, we have various other contributors worldwide who have been sharing their insights and strategic visions with us, as well as helping us to outreach students within their regional networks and universities. Now I will pass to Sophia, who will give the more detailed information on development process.
Thank you so much, Christina, for your kind introduction. As mentioned before, I'm Sophia Martinez from CETIS Universidad in Baja California, Mexico, and the regional leader for Latin America. Well, to start off our development process, in order to create PGS as an arena by and for students, empowering them and creating a network of co-creation, we need to work on the basis of a collaborative development. To do this, we're assembling a team of PGS regional leaders with student representatives from all the continents who have been reaching out to student organizations worldwide to join the collaborative development process of PGS. The process consists mainly of two phases, research and design. By inviting students from all over the world to co-create the collaborative development of PGS, starts the creation of a network of students engaged actively with prime activities, achieving one of the PGS central objectives. The process is focused on two main objectives. The first one being collecting data through stories, insights, and potential spaces for collaboration to inform the design phase to later on co-create something meaningful to us. The other objective is collaborative spirit, generating trust and a sense of ownership as we are an initiative by and for students, enable them to see themselves as a single group and a movement, unified movement of students coming together to create something great. The collaborative development process is the beginning of our network itself. Next slide, please. The collaborative research phase is composed of three stages: casual convenings, chats, and collective circles. The research outcomes are the base work for the PGS design phase. They also consolidate the creation of a space for collaboration among students worldwide in the creation of PGS together. The first stage is the casual convenings, where the regional leaders, we schedule and reach out to different student organizations within our regions to conduct these convenings conversations with students on sustainability-oriented organizations. Here, the main idea is to present PGS and give the students a sense of what PGS is and what it wants. Student organization Tec de Monterrey.
I think Sophia is having a little bit of connection problems. Let's wait a little seconds. I think you're back, Sophia?
Yes.
Good. So can you come back to the casual convenience, please? Because it cut a little bit there, but you can continue, please.
Well, for the casual convenings, as I mentioned before,
I think we are still having some problems with connection with Sophia. Here she is back. Are you back, Sophia?
I believe I'm back.
So you can try to turn off your camera and speak. Maybe it will be easier for the connection. Then you come back to the screen for the rest of the presentation. Thank you. We are listening to you.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Well, I was telling the casual convenience are where we mainly talk about what the organization are, what PGS is, and we exchange this information that will be valuable for the next step, which is the chat. On the chat, we have a one-to-one chat between the regional leader and the leader from the student organizations. These work as interviews where regional leaders discuss in detail the opportunities and challenges faced by student organizations while taking action and driving change towards sustainability. Here, the goal is to collect stories that reveal insights for PGS development and to be more engaging opportunity to create trust and provide a sense of ownership for students to join. Then, the students are invited to join the collective circles, which are a series of conversations that are open to every student initiative connected to the PGS movement. The idea is to bring students together to exchange experiences around questions that matter to them as change agents. This will be achieved first by hearing and learning from their local experiences and by generating trust and collaborative spirit among students who start seeing themselves as a student-led network within PRIME. Next slide, please. The first round of collective circles will engage students from America, Europe, and Africa. There will be a total of 5 circles, all focusing on different questions and building upon each other. The first circle was held on June 10th. This circle was extremely fruitful. We exchanged different opportunities and challenges we face as student organizations and how we can look for solutions for them and how as students we are making a great impact on the world. The next circles are held in this later on this day. The first one on June 16 today, where you are all welcome to join. It's not only for students, faculty members can join too, so we can exchange even more experiences and ideas. The third circle will be held tomorrow, June 17th. Our third circle will be held on June 21st. In order to join the circle 2A and 2B that it's going to be happening on the Globe Forum here, register on log in into Hopin and click on the icon on the left menu panel called Pavilions. Then search for the Prime Global Students icon and click on it to access to the PGS collective circles. Where for our collective design, once we finish the research phase, we're going to have a team with our regional leaders and student organizations we reach out during this process, where we're going to brainstorm potential activities for change and collaboration. We're then going to design a solution that addresses these needs and empowers student organizations. and we're going to do some prototyping labs. Then when we have this prototyping labs with the exchange of experiences, ideas, data, we're going to test the prototype with the community to see if the solution fits the needs. And then we're going to develop a business model to find the resources, operation of the work, strategies, and implementation of it. Next slide, please. Now that we are aware of who we are and the potential of students, Hedvig is going to give us a brief overview of what we have done and how we can engage.
Thank you so much, Sophia. I feel like I've already been presented quite well, but my name is Hedvig. I'm from Sweden, and I'm the representative for Western Europe. And I have been involved in Prime since the summer of 2019. And I am now super, super excited to be part of PGS. So Paolo, Alice, Christine, and Sophia have already given such a great presentation of PGS, and I'm now going to try to summarize what previously has been said. So I'm going to run through the timeline of PGS, both in terms of what we have done so far, which is shown on this slide, but also what we are planning for the future, which will be covered on the following slide. And as you see here, there are three colors. There is blue, orange, and gray. The blue represents what is already completed, the orange what is in progress, and the gray what is planned. So like Paolo previously explained, PGS and all the ideas around it all started in January this year, when the idea of PGS arose and Paolo started building the PGS development plan with help from Sophia Martinez, who is the president of the student organization Oikos. And simultaneously to this, the process of how data best should be collected was also elaborated on. So after 2 months of initial planning, PGS as an initiative was presented to the Prime board. And this is when the project really kicked off, and this is when us regional leaders started to onboard the project. The process of appointing regional leaders has continued throughout the spring, and we now, as Christina previously talked about, have representatives from North and South America, Europe, Africa, and Asia. And since March, Paolo and us regional leaders have worked on gathering data for the PGS database. And this has involved gathering information about student organizations to reach out to in order to invite them to join the collaborative research process. And a lot of this data gathering has happened through the extensive Prime network. And in order to plan the interaction with student organizations, the collaborative research phase has also been designed. And this is mainly done by Paolo, Sophia Martinez, and Julia Maru, but also with a lot of help and input from us regional leaders. And as Sophia previously explained, the outcome of this planning is a 3-step collaborative research process consisting of the casual convening stage, then the chat and interview stage, and lastly, collective circles, where several student organization representatives meet up to collectively discuss and reflect upon our experiences. So the focus in the research process is really to make PGS for students and hence created by students. And as you can see on the timeline, the casual convening phase has been going on since March, the interviews and chats since May, and the collective circles started off last week. And 2 collective circles will also be held tomorrow and the day after, live during the Prime Global Forum, like Sophia said. And we really want to encourage all of you to attend those and really seize the opportunity to listen to the student experience. And because of time zone differences, the collective circles that are held now in June and July are covering North and South America, Europe, and parts of Asia, or parts of Africa, sorry. Moving on to the next slide. So this is what the timeline for the future looks like. So the recruitment of regional leaders will continue as we still are looking for representatives from the Middle East and from Oceania. We're also constantly building our network of student organizations, while the data collection will continue for the rest of the year. And likewise, reaching out to student organizations through casual convening will continue. The interviews that are part of the research process will continue throughout the summer, and in August we plan to host a 2nd round of collective circle, but this time for Asia, the Middle East, parts of Africa, and Oceania. So the design phase preparations have started off now in June, and as shown on the previous slide, and that will continue throughout the summer, simultaneously with wrapping up the collaborative research phase. And then starting off in September, we will start with the prototyping labs, and later in the fall, we will do the prototyping tests to test the actual format of PGS. So moving on to the next slide, now I'm going to cover how one can engage with PGS. It has been highlighted several times throughout the presentation that PGS is for students and hence created by students. We therefore want as many students and student organizations as possible to join PGS in the collaborative research process. So if you come from a student initiative and would like to join PGS, please reach out to us. And likewise, if you know of a student initiative at your university, for instance, that work with sustainability in some way, spread the word of PGS to them and encourage them to reach out to us or provide us with their contact information so that we can reach out to them. And as mentioned before, we are still looking for representatives from the Middle East and Oceania. So please reach out to us if you would be interested in being a representative from either of these regions, or if you know someone that would be interested. And if you are not a student, perhaps you work as faculty at a university or you represent a business, we once again really want to encourage you to attend the collective circles that will be held tomorrow and the day after, live during the Prime Global Forum. This is such a great opportunity to switch the roles at the table and have students being the full focus and really being listened to. And lastly, if you are a design thinking guru, or if you have experiences in designing student initiatives or other types of initiatives, or if you simply have creative ideas for PGS, do not hesitate to reach out to us. And the best way to do this is to send an email to Paulo. So moving on to the next slide, we lastly want to give many thanks to several people. And firstly, we want to direct a massive thank you to Julia Maroon, who together with Sophie Charwa has contributed so greatly to the collaborative research phase with planning and creating all the methodologies to bring students together and to investigate their needs. And besides Julia, there are also several various contributors worldwide that have helped with sharing insights and strategic visions and helped us with the outreaching process. So we want to direct a big thank to all of you. Yes, Paulo.
Thank you so much, Hedvig, Sophia, Christina, and Alice. It's an immense pleasure and honor to share the PGS journey with you. I'm sure that the community of Prime can see the great value of what we are creating here today. I want to extend this thanks for all the faculty members, deans, chapter chairs, champions representatives, working group representatives that have been reaching out to us. It is interest that we started this movement, this positive snowball in the Prime community, and all the movement is growing. So it's interest that I've been seeing other initiatives focused on youth and student engagement popping up organically in our community. So the chapter Latin America and Caribbean just started ambassadors programs where they are training students to speak on behalf of Prime, to engage other students with the activities from the chapters, to engage students with their working groups. Yesterday, I spoke with the chapter chair in China, Dr. Yang, and he's planning a big forum, national forum in China. They want to have a panel of discussion to kick off student engagement initiatives in China. So everything we are creating together, it's reverberating in a positive sense towards our community. So I'm very honored to be part of our team. We have the 4 girls here today, but we also have Sardul from India, we have Liang in China, we have Raquel in Kenya, and the team's growing. So I welcome any person who is interested to engage in the Middle East and Oceania to join us, shoot an email to me. I will be more than happy to schedule a call to go over the initiative in more detail, to go over the role in more detail. It's worth highlighting that all these regional leaders, they will be on board during a 1 year term. So next Global Forum, next year, we're gonna say a great thanks and see you soon for this team, and we'll be welcome new students. So Prime Global Student is not an initiative with an end. We are just beginning a movement, and a movement that will take place for decades and decades ahead. And me with my colleagues, we are the honor to do the kickoff. So thank everybody from the community. Thanks all the support. Thank for all the insights, for all the guidance on how to navigate. We hope that what we are starting here, it's a game changer for Prime, because there is no way back with this new generation of students. If sustainability and it's a generational task, we needed to be aware that the leaders of today are leaders of tomorrow, are leaders today. So let's have this power going all over our community. So I hope everybody take a seat on our train, on the PGS train, because it's a single ride ticket. There is no way back. And I'm sure that we're gonna contribute too much for the present of Prime and the future of Prime. Thank you very much. Thank you again, Hedvig, Alice, Christina, Sophia. Thank you for all your support and efforts so far. And please, everybody, let's keep this conversation on the collective circle that is taking place just after this session, 15 minutes after this session, just to organize the house before starting. Just come back to the homepage of our Global Forum, check out the link, the icon for pavilions. Then you're gonna see a list of different pavilions and content studios. Find the content student for Prime Global Students, click there, join us. We are starting 15 minutes, our collective circles. As our friends said, these circles happening today and tomorrow, they are open for all the kind of people, for our broad audience. So please, faculty members, partners who are interested to learn more about PGS, to listen for such powerful and inspiring students, driving change all over our network, please join us. Send emails, ask for more questions. We are here to help. We are here to bring everybody to our collaborative process. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, girls. See you soon in a couple of minutes. Bye-bye, everybody.